Obi Shobaka say ye who MzGee say okwakowo ba ye nim say United Showbiz you know oba be hosting. At what point and I realize who say won ye entertainment show hosting bio?
At the point where I began to do, and I don't know if you follow Just Being Us on DSTV, my first season in 2022. And when I did 2022, I recorded another season before. Until me Just Being Us videos now, I was heavily pregnant when I was shooting. And it was God speaking to me to record. And when I recorded, and Just Being Us became a big deal when I was not back here. I realized, conversations need be the nature of showbiz doesn't give me that. What you say? You are doing artists. We are talking about people's past lives, the dark sides of their life, how they've endured the journey. And reviewing doesn't give you that. You are reviewing something that has been said and all of that. So I realized that actually people have stories, but they don't have platforms to speak. So if you hear the stories people are talking about, you know, how they were neglected after having a baby, somebody's father died, they think that the church could have done better for them. These are not stories that review gives you opportunities to do. In the time when I meet Fiona, said me back to Ejimano, I realized that the conversation was towing that line. So when it happened that the powers that be said, okay, we want to maintain the current host, I said, okay, why then go back? What's there to do in showbiz?
So do you feel say Obiaji Ojuma?
Me? You know the number of people, and look, go and ask multimedia. You know the number of people whose jobs have been given to me to do. But my own thing is that anytime multimedia incorporate me a show, then I can say, oh, we want a new presenter, and I can say yeah. But I always make sure that the person whose show I'm taking is comfortable and okay. There was a show that was given to me at multimedia, and multimedia people are listening. That the person said, oh, fashion, then I'm getting a new portfolio. Then I eavesdrop on a conversation now, or catch you be say, yes, see, I know about big thing. Then ask them. I never hosted a show till I left the place.
Because I would say,
yes, I am so confident in myself. So I'm not many in bro. Check it. Anybody who says I've worked with them, check it. Many in bro biao.
So is that a reason? See, I can't say be hosting United Showbiz and all kinds say. Or reach out to I
think it's the right thing to do, but social media has made me feel that I understand what people are disloyal to people. I understand the anti for backbiting for industry because they keep saying, oh, she owes you nothing. I also didn't owe her anything, but I felt it was the right thing to do because me titi I'm so confident in myself that many and to say I see Bajina adia I say me ko bisa say sister. Yes, I mean, but they said she doesn't owe me anything. But nobody is talking about the fact that I also didn't owe her anything. But you see, it is normal. Of course.
Making sure so yes, be many brown and maybe
of course, and wanted to know whether you're comfortable with it. What you are saying, but it's all good, and it won't change because I told you that in multimedia years ago, say me nya no see ye afede adu ba me ti say onya obisano
and o say ye
o see me nya and this is multimedia. It is a story that is there. So I have a trait me nji obi ade by force nya me ahra me bebre dodo. If I told you that I was doing production and I was jumped from Sunday evening to morning show. So nya me ahra me bebre that I don't envy anybody's thing. But so when they are giving me your thing, I have to ask you.
So now the current host of United Showbiz or cast one cinema and no later no obaya or continue or no kasaya.
She doesn't owe me that. At least people have made me know that nobody owes anybody anything.
Recently I
have never even thought about it. But it was interesting enough when I was in the US. Not sure, was granting interview say on the friend first. So why should I be contesting that? She went around saying only a friend the first one be hosting, and anybody who watched the show saw all that transpired anytime she was on the show, which is fine. Everybody
what transpired?
It doesn't matter anymore. Like we've moved past that. I am not a bitter human being. Like if you check it, and Abna, let's check it. Since I left United Showbiz, the things I've been able to accomplish, I don't think I would have if I was still seated there. I have done Just Being Us season 2. Season 3 is just about to go on air next month. I've been able to shoot that. I wouldn't have been able to do all of that. I wouldn't have been able to do Convergence of Mothers because there's so much time to dedicate here. That's it. So I've shot 2 movies. Why would I have gotten the time to go all the way to Kweu to go and shoot a movie. Stay there.
So do you see that to be a blessing in disguise?
Definitely so. My life is in the palms of Jehovah. He decides how to turn it. And when he turns it, I don't complain. I only say God. And there's a prayer I pray. You know I am an NSPPDN. And there's something that the God that sees me, he won't put me to shame. Okay. He's not that kind of God. That is my belief. I only go back to say, God, you brought me here, and let's go back to how I got here. I was sitting at 3 Music minding my business. Never even thought that anybody would call me. Eugene says, we better for us a panel. Our United Showbiz. Me ba be panel. Me dream me home. I feel yes me host show. Arnold will tell you I resisted. Arnold neni me kasa so. Then I was in Arnold's office when he said, when I came, one of the things I told them, me teach you, almost all gradually. You build on it.
We make key statement to be. I don't think anyone can match the skill I brought on board.
I already said that to you in this guide. I don't sing. I don't dance.
Do people be say, hey,
I came to ask questions. Okay. We're on top, making waves everywhere. Everybody was talking about us.
No,
who? Tell me who.
Oh, so there's a current
not
host.
My predecessor, not a current host.
Really?
When I said to Rumi, I say with my full chest. I don't say things and take it back. I said I become popular. You know MzGee as who? I'm not an actress. That's not my portfolio that you know. Do you know me as a musician? What do you know that I do? So if I've asked questions and I've moved top media houses. So I worked at multimedia for 5 years, worked at TV3 for almost 2 years. And in all of this movement, I've never written applications. So people are calling me. I don't even have to die. People are still calling me to return to stations. I sit here. People are calling me to return to station, and I don't go calling anybody. Say, oh, please, can you? No. Okay. I ask questions for a living. Okay. And if I've been successful at it, and then why can't I brag about it?
Okay, tell me, yes, I say, so we questions apart from CB, I'm share be on base changing, greetings and all that, and all. Beside you're serious with that. Don't you think, say, no, so a play pivotal role in you not still hosting the entertainment show?
What does it take away?
Maybe because say the posture. There are so many ways to kill a cat. You can be serious, you can be hard, but your expression, your demeanor would speak to people. Say, oh, as a MzGee.
Do you hire?
I don't know if you understand what
do you hire people to make them better, or you hire people to tame what they brought on board? We don't do that. If I've been at multimedia, I've been at TV3, I've been at 3 Music. Why did you hire me? Because I was not doing hello, hi, hey. I have been doing tough interviews, and you thought it was okay for you. And so if you feel it's not okay for you anymore, that's why you say, okay, step aside, it's not okay for me anymore. But you won't tell me that because it's not okay for you, I should change and come and be what to be. No.
Like I said, typical example, logic, and he felt offended.
But didn't I apologize to him the next week?
No, and make us say, so because of, don't you think, say, now can no name say, oh, no, okay, I mean, many me, na MzGee kasa, or MzGee yena. How would you feel? Even though you apologize, but if the moments are, no, be at the back of your mind, who feel say a hard question, I would the man and answer saying.
Because I'm telling you, that is not a question. You know that, and this is not to even allocate blame to anybody. You know that the show runs at a certain time. There are people producing it. But the thing about it that is important is that I will not be the first host to have made a mistake and gone back to say, oh, I could have handled this better, and come back on the same show with the same guest and say, well, I'm sorry I didn't handle this better last week. So forgive me.
Forgive me.
That is... Doing that alone means that you're open to learning and you're open for feedback. I was telling you that sometimes when people critique me, I don't respond to them, but I listen. So when I heard the noises around, I'm like, okay, this is a big deal. I didn't think at the time. I didn't think at the time that it was a big deal. And again, Kai said, the language is not my language. If I said it in English, oh, logic, people are sleeping. Can you be fast with your submission? I don't think it will sound the way you're looking at it now.
Are you sure?
People are sleeping.
The interpretation
and no, the meaning is the same. Sounds harsher to you because it's a can. But in English, oh Charlie, can we wrap up the show? People are sleeping. Can you be fast with your submission? I don't think anybody who speaks English would, because except you want to make a case out of it, which was more like something that people wanted to do, and that's fine.
When say language na a barrier wana, because they've been one might be as some they will be say direct maybe translation from ever to say they will be see I can that maybe say they will be see a balance on China kazana a huge barrier mawana.
I said that in the beginning that when I was called, I said I wouldn't do it because I don't even know how to speak Chi. I've grown on English. I'm a Nigerian born Ghanaian. Nigeria speaks a lot English. My father was a teacher in Nigeria, so you can imagine that house.
Teacher neighbor.
So we're speaking English 24/7. I keep saying that I'm just a lucky person who went to school in the Volta region, and I learned Ewe, which is my dialect or my language, from 3 years that I spent in Pando Secondary School. So even that, I'm not that fluent. So my house is not big on languages. We are Nigerians or Ghanaians who find ourselves in Nigeria, spoke English, until dates we speak English.
Okay. Until when a panel I know more show us on to saying, are you guys still cool? Moda so kasa and says what
I speak to whoever speaks to me. If I need something, I spoke to MC just last week. I was asking a question, said she was out of town. I speak to who speaks to me. It's not supposed to be a family matter, No. And I'm very sure that that this is a job. It's nobody's family house. There are people that you close here, you never hear from them again, and you're okay, life goes on. I don't have to be keeping touch with everybody that I don't have any business with. So if I have business with you, we keep touch. However, you can't be stabbing people at the back and expect that they show you their teeth. I'm not that kind of person. I am not. I'm just saying to you that I am not that kind of person. So whoever wants you to ask that question and feels that I don't speak to anybody, maybe the person might feel like they have done something to me. Because anybody who speaks to me, there's nobody who has picked the phone and called me or asked me a question that I haven't responded to. There's nobody that I sat with here that I've needed or want to have a conversation with that I have not had that conversation with.
Do you feel so be a stab your back?
I don't care. I'm just a forward-looking person. So that's why
are you a vindictive person?
No, I said it on Romeo's show that I am human, and I won't lie to you that when an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. No, I am still in that era. Even though I am a Roy's baby, I am still working on myself. No, I won't lie to you.
So back to my question. Are you vindictive?
I am not vindictive. I don't go out of my way to hurt people. I'm a very sweet human being.
But you think some people go out of their way to hurt you?
If you do it and I see it, why should I play with you?
But what will be that?
When I was a little girl, my mother told me not to play with fire. Fire will burn you.
Do you feel so? Yes.
We are humans. People are walking around with their motives around, and I don't give it. That's why it's difficult for me to answer. I don't give it mind. It is only when you feel you've done something. It's only when you've done something.
But just me feel. Sa na me bisa me hu mete. And I say be one is so glaring. But just say. Men and me feel.
Now, I had to endure a lot. Because I was working. And so I had to endure a lot sitting on that chair. Yes, if you ask people, say, oh, this is not the MzGee. This is not the MzGee. You don't play with me anyhow. I stand my authority. You don't play with me anyhow. But when you're working and you're working with people, no way you any. The any kind say, and I did a lot of that. And it's the tenets of the job. When you're working for people, how many people love their bosses? But they have to, work according to what the bosses dictate. So that is the thing. It is life. You begin to learn these things and you have to play with it. However, I am not one who bootlicks. No. You won't find me there. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm sorry. Instead of focus on me, and I like it that way.
Personally, do you think
you've encountered me? Have I ever had a reason to say anything to you that's nasty? No. I'm very particular. I'm very particular with my words and engagement with people. Instead of hey, that's not the perception we had about you. You see. It is interesting, and maybe when you asked me that who am I behind the camera, I should have said that I am if you ask my schoolmates, I am the one that parties, make noise when I go to places I'm comfortable. I am a very easygoing human being, and I have love for humanity. You will never find me, and I say never find me disrespecting anybody. No matter their class, their standard. However, I do not take nonsense.
One day they said maybe wakuma how because I remember say time I walk away buy will be clear no someone ne be no more eka and I mean, it's a memory as a writer. You made a comment about ex-husband, how I will refer to no, and later you came back to, apologize, say, how I would see women to say, but make us say, SB wakuma eba na bia wo kasa, you're highly temperamented, and highly temperamental, but later, no, what's the back now realize, don't you think that you need to, work on your temperament?
My dear, and I say it 3 times. With the case you have referred to, everybody who was engaged me, I said, that word is certain. I've heard legal people use it. And that's the same excuse I've given everybody. I've heard people say accepting this. I thought it was a legal term. No, on a very serious note. Look, let me tell you. One of the brilliant human beings I ever encountered in this space was Raymond Akwa.
Okay.
One of the most brilliant human beings I encountered in this space that I ever even married. Raymond Akwa's brains is not something I would play with in that regard. If I've been divorced for 2 years and I decide to make an announcement, why will I be bitter? You didn't know for 2 years. Why will I be bitter? I say that's certain. I've heard people writing in legal terms. So me too, I was just borrowing the word, thinking that it was some legal thing. And then to say that people are temperamental. You can't just wake up and be temperamental. I will not say I am a temperamental human being. You don't touch the lion's tail and expect him to sit down and be watching you. You understand?
So if nothing touches
I am a very passionate human being.
It will not rattle.
I am a very passionate human being.
Okay.
I guard my passion. I guard my job. If you work with me and you're a lazy person, you will not enjoy my workspace.
Okay.
That's the first thing. So ask everybody I've worked with. However, I have worked in about 3 media houses before here. Ask them if I've ever fought with anybody beyond work issues. And I'm saying this on TV. If anybody says I've got a fracas with them, I feel like, this is not the right way to go to the job. Or they've played with my job. Ask everybody. I've worked at Multimedia, I've worked at Media General, I've worked at 3 Music, and before here, even here, who can say that who can say that? Who can say that? To TV, so who messing me up? Nobody knows that somebody behind the scene is messing me up. When I finish that job, I will go and confront you. Charlie, why do you make me look stupid on TV? That I will do. But like I said, ask any media house I've worked at. Say, many obi anyantawa. In fact, I've worked at media houses that people have come to apologize to me afterwards. And I've said it in interviews before.
So,
yes, the way we treated you, the way we were backstabbing, the way we did this, yes, we could have handled. I'm telling you, I've said it in interviews before. But me, I have never for once, and I say it on record because this is TV and people can verify, had to go and call any boss and go and say bootlick anybody and go and say, oh, you wait for your family share. Never.
But
basically what they were doing every time was NYSA, and all to say. So they kept trying to break every fence. But me, I'm unbreakable. Look, I lost my mother at 18. I've been taking care of. If you are 18 years, first daughter, your father is abroad, and you are raising children, renting house, moving from here, even though they are giving you the money, making decisions on which school your siblings will go to. When you didn't change, was social media, and I've seen a lot. Look, I carried my mother to 37 military hospital myself. Like, that's a story for another day.
Wow.
So I've seen too much to be, pushed by fickle things. Things you see in life actually shaped you. And me, what I've seen has shaped me so much. I'm so tough. You put me down now, I will submerge like this. And I say that if you even put me under earth, I will still shine. Because I know the covenant I have with my God. So it is not supposed to be me destroying anybody to win anybody's favor.
And so do you see, so will be a very place will be was something just to take you out to win favor?
No, it is the job again, and I'll say, and I keep saying, I don't know how people interpret it. This job is not for my father. It is not my father is not Sir Kwame Despite. That is my father SP. I won't that I'll go and say, Daddy, please give me this job. This is a job of hiring and firing.
And the man we didn't so now can say you can beat your chest, say whatever you brought on board, a match. now no uni show no so but commenter beba any adeno. Do you think that people are making comparisons?
I don't care. Nobody asked me when it was my turn. I don't care. People are left to make their comparison.
No, but
I don't.
I'm
saying that the feedback I've gotten tells me that I did something right when I sat here.
Okay. But there
are people who did and there are people who didn't. Sometimes you let something go before you know how precious it is. And that is not the bone of contention. The bone is what have you been able to do after you left with your life. Have I diminished as MzGee? And thanks to everybody who has kept putting camera on their face to review me over the past few hours. I'm like, okay, I didn't know my voice mattered that much. Even if I did, I didn't think that it would cause the whole nation to come to a standstill and everybody will have a say. Just as you have a say, I have a say to tell my truth at when I feel comfortable to tell it.